Well, good Friday afternoon, YTPC. This is Dave coming to you from Paddock in Southern Maryland. So it's about 3:30 on Friday afternoon. A storm that's been coming up out of the south is supposed to hit us here in about the next 2 to 3 hours. So I want to go ahead and say hi to you guys and then go home a little bit early and spend the evening with Anne Marie and the dogs. Maybe light a fire and just enjoy being at home. As always, the Maryland Marathon. Only a couple more days left. Thursday morning, we head out to Denver and Wyoming. What's in it today? Alton Hogarth, Dark Flake Unscented. I think it's one of Uncle Willie's favorites. That's why I bought it. It's pretty good. It's a thin flake. It's a large flake. Here's an actual flake. So, I mean, being a newbie and a dummy, I would almost call this like I don't know, what do you guys call it? Crumble cake? Well, this is like crumble flake. It's really, really thin. It pulls apart or rubs out quite easily. I'm on my second bowl today, and I'm about halfway or 70% of the way through it. It's quite good. It's a very simple tobacco. It tastes good, but again, I basically taste tobacco. I don't think there's any toppings or any casings on this, and it's quite good. I don't think there's any Latakia or Oriental in it. I think it's pretty much a very simple tobacco. But anyway, thank you, Willie. It was a good recommendation, and I'm enjoying it. You guys have nothing planned for the video except to be social, to say hello to you. I'm having another one of those days where I feel calm and content. I'm pretty much caught up. I've done 2 other things here in the paddock. I built another 2-drawer file drawer, and one of you suggested, which is a little embarrassing, I hadn't thought of it, an uninterruptible power supply, or UPS, has been brought into the paddock and has been charged for the last couple of days. And I'll plug all the security system into it because the power here is flaky. It doesn't always go out, but it blinks. And we have backup upon backup for the security system here. But it would be nice to get an UPS in front of all of that. So that will get that'll get set up later today or sometime tomorrow. But I want to say thank you. That was a good suggestion, and I use them at home. They sit in front of all my tech at home. I just did not put one in front of the security system here because actual loss of power is fairly rare. But now, even if we have loss of power, we'll stay up here for several hours. So thank you for that. So I'm enjoying the Sugarland Shine, the apple I started 3-4 days ago. You know, it's been pretty good. I've had it pretty much each of the last 3 or 4 days. It tickled me that Smarty Bob had the exact same thing, Sugarland Shine, but he had maple bacon flavor. I'd never heard of that, so I'll definitely see if I can bring some in. He called it Sip and Shine. I like that. It's exactly what I think of it as, just something to sip on while you're doing some work in here or getting ready to do the video. So, Smarty Bob, thank you. It was a great name. Something else that came from you guys. One of you, because I've been reading the Bible to you, one of you suggested that, and is actually doing it yourself, you're reading an old Bible. I don't know if you said it was like 1910 or something. I thought that was a brilliant idea. So I actually went online and I found on eBay It looks like it's in pretty good shape. A Bible produced in 1814. I purchased that, and it's inbound. Should be here tomorrow. Now, obviously, if it gets here, I'll show it and share it with you guys. But to read a Bible that was printed 210 years ago, that's pretty exciting. Potter Piper asked me the other day why I was trying to read my scriptures version in 6 months. There's a couple of reasons. One is the pace of the single day reading is not enough for me. When I sit down at the beginning of the day and just read, I study the Bible. I get through one day reading like that. So I, if it's too much, I won't do it. But most of the time I feel like I want to go on and read it again. So I do two readings a day. I started about 5 days early, and I'm well on track to do a 6-month read of that. The other reason is for stuff like we just talked about. We found another Bible, and at one a year, I don't want to take 10 or 20 years to accomplish my goal. My goal is sort of to get through it 9 or 10 times and sort of have that intra-book memory and reference ability. And as long as I'm not reading it at a rate that my brain can't absorb it, I feel like reading 2 versions a year will really help me attain my goal quicker. So I think my next version of my Bible is inbound, and I'm pretty excited. I could be totally scanned, right? We'll know in a day, but it looked really cool. So again, that's another thing that came from you guys. So Dark Flake Unscented from Willie, the Ups idea from you guys, and read an old printed version that gets out of our era of the Bible. That's 3 ideas that have come from you guys. So I just want to say thank you for that. So several of you have received packages or gifts from me, and I want to talk about that for a minute. What I'm trying to do is give back to you guys, give back to you as individuals, and give back to you as a community. It's sort of the same reason I started doing videos back in early November. I felt like I was, for most of last year, I was consuming your material and wasn't, other than a comment here or there or a like here and there, I wasn't giving back. And that doesn't feel good to me. So I started producing videos. In fact, I think Potter Piper and I started on the very same day. I think it was his initial video that made me say, hey, get off the fence and start making some videos. So Potter, I owe you my start. And then when I did start, several of you just jumped on. I'm kind of calling you my OGs, but you jumped on my videos really starting day one. And I really appreciate that. And the feedback and the support I've received from this community is pretty outstanding, kind of shocking, and it's continued now for 2.5 months. So I just want to say thank you. And then I've personally received gifts from you guys, packages from you guys. Some are just random acts of kindness. I think I've won 3 or 4 gauze, and I had all this material, all this stuff, all these gifts, all this kindness physically being sent to me. And I hadn't sent really anything out except my Secret Santa back in, the first week of December. And so I'm not sure how interested I am in doing gauze. I'm not saying I won't, but sitting here today, I'm not all that interested in it. And so the idea of doing gauze through just giving, which I think came from Potter Piper, and his video where he asked, when should someone do a GAW, really woke me up to, you don't have to do one, just give back to the community. And then I saw Willie's video where he calls it his rock, a random act of kindness. And between the two of those, it just hit me. It was time for me to just start doing something fun and something to give back. So that is all I'm trying to do with these gift kits. There are a few more out there, and I'll continue that practice, I believe. So even from Wyoming, I don't think it really matters where I'm from, where I'm sitting, we can still make this happen. So that's really all I'm trying to do. And it's weird because some of the places I do it from ship right away, and some take forever. So things I thought would have been done by now haven't been done at all, and some I thought would take longer are already accomplished. So they're stacking up more than I expected them to. And then sometimes shipping, which I think should take a day or two based on how I do it, end up taking a week. And some things take one day instead of two. So again, that's causing this sort of stack up in the community. I don't know. I just felt the need to explain what I was doing out there. Doing my video yesterday of who influenced my life the most was really fun for me, really interesting. I've had the concept in my brain for years that it took a lot of people to get me where I am today. And I always took that to mean in my heart, basically all the employees and suppliers and vendors, and then my management team and my executive leadership team, all the people who essentially I stood on top of. I stood on the shoulders of a lot of people, and I think I treated them well. And I think it was a win-win for the vast majority of people who did that with me. But the question that J&D's put out caused me to realize there were a lot of people in front of me, who gave me that hand up. And to put all that into one place and write it down on one piece of paper and actually speak it into existence was really fulfilling for me, and I really enjoyed doing it. I don't know if that came across that way or not yesterday, but I wanted to say it explicitly today. So tomorrow will be a week since both my kids went back to their lives. My son to Denver and my daughter to Sarasota. And we finished the undecorating of the house. So it's amazing how different my home is from 1 week ago to today. It's amazing how quiet how quiet the house is. I know so many of you are way ahead of me of that in life, but it still surprises me, how quiet it is with kids gone. This is probably the first time since I've been doing videos that, I feel comfortable enough to talk to you about. As I get ready to leave, we're in the final, so we leave Thursday morning to drive to Denver. And then on to Jackson Hole. I know I must love both my homes because the last 4 or 5 days at either place, I feel a twinge of sadness or melancholy. I'm not sure how to describe it, but it more than just peaceful today. I'm starting to feel that, oh man, I got to leave. I got to leave the paddock. I got to leave my wife, leave my dogs, leave my home, and head out. And then when I get ready to leave Wyoming, you'll hear me do this video again where I probably say to you, gosh, I'm going back to Maryland in 4 or 5 days, and I'm starting to feel, bad about leaving Wyoming. So it's interesting that I feel that on both sides of my flip life, where I flip from Wyoming to Maryland and back several times during the year. I guess that means it's good, right? Guys, I have no readings for you from the books or from the Bible. I do want to read some more to you. I think I'll read to you from the Bible, from Exodus tomorrow, and read some more of God's direct rules that he gave Moses. I enjoyed reading that to you, and you guys responded well to that. But I felt weird doing that on a Freedom Friday. I didn't want to put reading the Bible and my Mossberg Shockwave in the same video. It just didn't feel right to me. I don't know if that's an appropriate feeling or not, but I felt it, so I divided the videos up even between this one and that one, and I'll separate it for a day, and we'll do it tomorrow. For the kind of the first time, I feel what Smarty Bob says all the time, and that is this video's gone on too long. I'm rambling. I've got no point. This thing's gone on too long as it is. I got to cut it off. I feel a little bit like that today. So I think I'm going to do just that. I'm going to say I hope you have a great week. I hope you had a great Friday. It's going to be Friday evening by the time you guys get this. I hope you have a good weekend. For most people, it's a 3-day weekend. And I guess that's it, you guys. We will talk again tomorrow. Bye now.